Okay, pause YouTube, 6-Foot Hacks here. Hi for you guys, today the team building video for week 7 of Pokemon Full Glory Season 2. Now I'm redoing this just because I really didn't like the first version of this, and this will probably be going up Saturday, like an hour or two, hopefully an hour or two before the actual week 7 match goes up, just because Kyle has been having a lot of personal life stuff going on. So I've been informed that he would like, or he informed me, I don't know why I said it like that, but he texted me saying if we could push back the battle to around Saturday, hopefully. So yeah, if anything, this will be going up an hour or two before the battle, or this may be going up Saturday, then the match will be going up Sunday by the latest. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that if you guys are wondering why this didn't go up Friday. But hey, we got a team builder either way. So yeah, make sure to go check out the homie KyleAye. His channel link is going to be down below. Also, a link down below is going to be an interview that I did with Squimpy, I think is how his name is pronounced. It was a draft league interview. If you guys also may have missed my P4G interview, I'll leave a link to that down below as well. That one was like half the time that the one with Squimpy was. But if you guys are like interested to like know a little bit more about me and just draft league stuff in general, you guys can go check those out. Those two links are down below. So if you may have missed last week's battle, a link to that should be somewhere on the screen or pop up eventually for you guys to go check out as well. So let's go ahead. Oh, I hate that sound, I apologize. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So let's take a look at the team preview, which is going to be down below me now. The top 6 Pokemon of the Miami Donphans are the main 6 Pokemon I expect them to bring, and then on the column below, those 5 in the order left, your left to right, my right to left, is in the order of which I expect them to be brought. So for example, I really don't think Rampardos or Alolan Marowak are going to be brought to this game just because they're too slow. I have too many things to outspeed them and deal with them accordingly. I could kind of half expect them to bring Heliolisk, mainly for my Jellicent if he wants to expect me to bring that. Hitmontop along with Latios also have a pretty okay matchup in this game. Like I could see him definitely alternating Latios or the Hitmontop for one of his top 6 mons very easily, but I would much rather see a Hitmontop than something like a Porygon 2 or a Dugtrio or even a Alolan Ninetales or something like that. But basically, while Kyle is 0-6, he has such a great team matchup going into this game. Like in theory and on paper, Kyle by far has team matchup, mainly because over half of his squad outspeeds basically everything that we have except for 2 Pokemon, which one of his 6 Pokemon can outspeed the 2 Pokemon that we have that could outspeed everything that he has. Scolipede, after +1 speed, outspeeds everything, and he can easily get that free +1 speed on a Protect, which I've seen him run Protect Scolipede a couple of times. So just in theory, I built the team around him potentially being at the most +1 speed Scolipede, whether it be Adamant or a Jolly. And then Mega Aerodactyl and Excelgor outspeed everything except for the Scolipede at +1, obviously. But if it for some reason is not speed boost, or I don't allow it to get the +1, then Excelgor and Aerodactyl outspeed everything. But the Pokemon I'm about to list off outspeed everything except for Aerodactyl and Excelgor. So Alolan Ninetales, Heliolisk, Latios, Mega Absol, the what's it called? Dugtrio. All 5 of those outspeed everything except for the 2 Pokemon I just mentioned. Then Scolipede, of course, still outspeeds everything except for Aerodactyl and Excelgor without the speed boost. But with the speed boost, it does outspeed everything. So yeah, just the fact that it's got so many fast Pokemon, and then 3 really pretty decently bulky mons. Like Hitmontop has some respectable bulk on the physical side if it gets the Intimidate drop, so that could be really annoying to play around with, especially if he's got like Toxic or something. And then Suicune and Porygon 2 make a really good defensive core between the 2. I find it funny that we have to not only go up against a Pokemon that we dropped, because if you guys remember, originally Suicune was a member of the Durham Druddigons, but then I think between week 3 and 4 we dropped it and we changed it obviously for something else. Now our water type is Jellicent. But I also find it funny that we're playing Porygon 2 again. I thought when I battled Chance that I wouldn't have to deal with Porygon 2, but no, somehow Kyle got Porygon 2, so that's going to be really annoying to deal with. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. So the first team member that we have coming for the Durham Druddigons is going to be Tranquilo Krookodile. I was going to say Tranquilo Cocodrilo. That's where I got the nickname for Krookodile from. But we have Tranquilo, the Krookodile, making his return again, rocking that nice little nifty Assault Vest set, which is actually really awesome because the main idea behind the set is to just 110% deal with Latios. So if he doesn't bring the Latios, I can play a little bit more risky with my Krookodile, which is going to be really nice because I can potentially leave it for Death Fodder or switch it into an attack that I may otherwise not have a switch into. Funny enough, if he's not running offensive Blizzard Ninetales, there's no way he 2-hit KOs my Krookodile with the amount of Spadef bulk and HP bulk that we have in this set. We really didn't need any physical defense EVs or attack EVs because after running the calcs, I think I originally did have 12 attack EVs, but they really weren't mattering for too much, so I took those off and I just put them into HP, which allows us to take 1 or 2% less from certain special attacks. Actually, we take 1% less from every special attack, but in some scenarios we take 2% less from some attacks, so that's going to be really nice. Pursuit and knockoff. Pursuit obviously to trap the Latios and maybe be able to trap a Heliolisk on the switch, or even Dugtrio is going to be really nice to potentially be trapped. Knockoff is going to be amazing for leftovers on Suicune, a Violite on Porygon 2, or leftovers on the Hitmontop, or even the Light Clay on the Ninetales, so we only have to deal with 5 turns of the Aurora Veil as opposed to 8 turns, which those 3 turns can be very crucial for us, so that's going to be really good. Pursuit and Knockoff both coming very handy in this game. The final 2 moves are really there just to kind of be able to cover some certain things. Brick Break, I'm like 99% sure nobody has told me otherwise. Brick Break definitely breaks Aurora Veil, so that could really come in handy if I'm in against this with the Porygon 2 or something. Dragon Tail is going to be really nice to phase around the Suicune because there's no way he 2KOs me unless he's like modest max special attack with Hydro Pump, which could actually be a little bit scary. But I highly doubt he's going to bring that. I'm expecting more of a Crocoon set or just a Calm Mind Scald Suicune in general. So Dragon Tail can also just be really nice for phasing things around if I predict them to want to bring in the Hitmontop and I can't pursue it and get off enough damage on whatever is in front of me. I can phase out the Hitmontop and then that way I can start racking up a little bit of entry hazard damage, also being able to potentially waste a turn of Aurora Veil or just Hail in general, so it's going to be really good. And yeah, that's basically what Krookodile is here for. It's just a guaranteed trap the Latios. Once that's gone, I can play a little bit more risky with it. And then the speed EVs are enough to outspeed a Jolly max speed Rampardos. If for some reason he wants to bring Rampardos, we outspeed it by 1 point unless it's Scarfed, which could actually be a little bit annoying if this is too weak. But moving on down the line, we got good old Tomas, the Tangrowth. It's pronounced Tomas, it's not Thomas, it's Tomas. I mean, it is Thomas, but it's Tomas, okay? Okay, we got it? Alright. But we are rocking a nice Spadef Yachi Berry set this time. I think last week we had physically defensive Yachi Berry. This time we have specially defensive Yachi Berry with the hidden power steel, which is fucking awesome, dude. I really hope that we can surprise the Ninetales and catch it off guard. If maybe he thinks that he can knock me out with the Blizzard, he will fail to knock us out because of the Yachi Berry, and then if he doesn't have the Aurora Veil up, then we can do a solid 70% minimum if he's offensive. If he's a bulky set with HP EVs, I think the minimum is like 60%, so that's still really good damage. Obviously, if he does get Aurora Veil up, that damage is going to be halved, so that could be a little bit annoying to deal with. But either way, Hidden Power Steel is still going to be a really good way to get off a huge hit on the Alola Ninetales and potentially just knock it out, in general. Speaking of knockoff again, much like on Krookodile, it's just really handy in this matchup. And because we're not running an offensive Krookodile, it doesn't necessarily matter too much that we have 2 knockoff Pokemon. So obviously if I knock off a Violite from Porygon 2 with Tangrowth and not Krookodile, if I try to knock off Porygon 2 with Krookodile, it's not going to be doing as much damage. But in scenarios like that, it doesn't really matter because it's just really nice to have 2 knockoff Pokemon to, again, mainly get rid of Violites. Leftovers are going to be really important. Even Light Clay on the Alola Ninetales is going to be really nice. This also does a solid like 60-ish, I think it's like 60% to Latios, which is really good, which unless it's like Specs Draco Meteor, is not going to be OHKOing Tangrowth, so that's going to be really awesome. Leech Seed is also really handy in this matchup because this is essentially my best way of forcing out Dugtrio potentially, and just if Well, no, because I don't really have anything to switch in, but if he does revenge kill something, I bring in Tangrowth. Obviously, he's not going to want to leave in the Dugtrio. He's going to switch out, so I can then Leech Seed whatever comes in, and then I can get off that chip damage on that Mon that came in, and then whatever I switch in to deal with whatever Pokemon you brought in against my Tangrowth will also be able to gain back a little bit of recovery every time on the switch in, so that's going to be really good. This is just going to be really nice to pressure things, and it's also going to help me be able to have another solid answer to the Suicune, because we can knock off Suicune, we can Leech Seed Suicune, and then we can potentially spam Giga Drain against it, and Leech Seed is also going to be really nice to wear down a Suicune without leftovers in general. So yeah, Tangrowth can definitely do a lot in this matchup as long as I don't play it incorrectly. So moving on to the third member making his return, we got Cesaro, the Mega Aerodactyl. I think it's been like 3 weeks since we've seen Cesaro. Yeah, because the last two matchups, my opponents had Scizor and Mega Scizor respectively, and then in my match against John, it also had a really poor matchup. So it's really nice to be able to bring back Aerodactyl. Again, this is the only thing along with Excelgor that outspeeds everything that is not Scarfed or at +1 speed on the Miami Donphans team. And the great thing about this set is that late game, this easily wins, and the speed EVs are enough to outspeed Dugtrio if it's running Jolly Max speed. And this is why I just love super fast Pokemon like Mega Aerodactyl, man. We can just very easily run Adamant almost max attack and still have enough speed to outspeed basically everything and anything that's not boosted from the Miami Donphans, and just in certain matchups in general. Oh, excuse me. So we have 140 HP EVs just to be able to tank hits from the Porygon 2. I think unless he gets like high damage rolls or Hail is up, he can't knock us out with a especially offensive Porygon 2, so that's going to be really nice. We can also chew a Sucker Punch from Mega Absol, and more than likely Aerodactyl will probably be my lead in this game just because it pairs up really well against everything he has typically led off with, which has been his Mega, Dugtrio, and Alola Ninetales. Dugtrio and Alola Ninetales and even Mega Absol, all three are straight O-code by this Mega Aerodactyl, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that Aerial Ace does straight O-code Dugtrio. Obviously, unless he's got like the Focus Sash or something, or he has like Scarfed Dugtrio or Scarfed Alola Ninetales, then that's gonna really suck. But if they are Scarfed, I can play around them a little bit easier, I would like to think. So yeah, that's going to be the kind of idea behind this set. Home Claws is just really there if I'm able to predict a recover or a switch or a rest from the Suicune, then that'll give me a free +1 in my physical attack. I think Thunderfang already does like 35 to like 40-ish% to the Suicune, and at +1 it does over 50% just to about 70% depending on what EV spread he's going to be running. So yeah, Thunderfang I think is going to be really nice to pressure the Suicune and potentially catch it off guard. This is definitely a Pokemon that benefits from something being Leech Seeded from Tangrowth as well as Krookodile. So I'm really hoping that late game or mid game Aerodactyl, if it's mid game, Aerodactyl can pressure his team, break his walls down, and then late game it can potentially come in and win by itself. So moving on down to our fourth Mon, we have Corbin the Cobalion, because you guys know I gotta bring the GOAT, man. I think I brought Cobalion to like every single game so far, if I'm not mistaken. Like off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure I brought it every single game. But this is actually a really cool set. Shouts out to Shuckle King 87 for suggesting me running this set, because originally we had just Rock Polish 3 attacks, but with Swords Dance this is going to be really crucial, because with Swords Dance I'm able to pressure the Suicune and have more pressure on the Porygon 2 as well, because I can potentially Swords Dance in front of the Suicune as it rests, or if I get lucky with Sleep Talk turns, I can then Swords Dance and even Rock Polish to potentially win with this monster mid to late game. So this is kind of another win condition and just another offensive threat in general, because the Miami Donphans draft is so stupidly fast. Cobalion is literally outsped by all 6 of his Pokemon that already outspeed everything but Mega Arrow and Excelgor. So I decided to go with a really bulky spread, because along with the Shuckle Berry, this could allow us to potentially set up in front of the Dugtrio if it's not Scarfed. We could also set up in front of the Scolipede if he thinks he can just switch it in and potentially knock us out, or we can just revenge kill both of those Mons accordingly. Close combat plus Stone Edge hits everything on the Miami Donphans team for neutral or super effective damage. So if I'm able to weaken the Suicune, this can definitely just come in and click close combat or just Stone Edge if we're able to get rid of the Dugtrio and the Hitmontop accordingly. So yeah, really hoping that Corbin can apply a lot of pressure and potentially win. I honestly don't think I'll be able to Swords Dance and Rock Polish in this game. I think depending on how I play it, I'll have to choose between one of the two. And then from there, either Aerodactyl or our next upcoming Pokemon will be able to sweep late game. Or if Mega Arrow and my next Pokemon can weaken his team, this can come in late game, Rock Polish, and easily win. So yeah, they kind of go hand in hand. And speaking of our third member in this little offensive core, we have Guillermo the Garchomp rocking a nice little Choice Scarf set. I know you guys see the Choice Scarf with Stealth Rocks, but believe it or not, Scarf Rocks Chomp has become a pretty standard set of OU from what I've seen. I have a couple teams with Scarf Chomp with Stealth Rocks, so that's kind of interesting. So that was kind of the idea behind this set. Plus, there's really nothing else I could fit Stealth Rocks on this team. I guess I maybe could have put them on Cobalion if I wanted to give up Swords Dance or Rock Polish, but just I really feel SD or Rock Polish is a lot more important in this matchup. And from what I've seen, Kyle hasn't typically got up Stealth Rocks too often in his battles because he's mainly had them on Dugtrio, which is really his only viable Stealth Rocker even coming into this game. If he wants to bring Rampardos or if he wants to bring the Alolan Marowak, then hey, I will gladly deal with one of those two as opposed to like Dugtrio, Scolipede, or Suicune, or even Mega Absol. But I really think the top 6 mons, as I mentioned down below, are by far the best 6 he could bring. I am a little bit iffy on the Suicune, honestly, and still a little bit iffy on the Alolan Ninetales, but I really feel like Suicune and just Alolan Ninetales in general pair up really well and have a good matchup in this game. Dragon Claw and Earthquake obviously there for stab to hit whatever we needed to hit accordingly. The defensive E's allow us just to take physical hits a little bit better. They do about like 2 or 3% less damage, and the damage output from max attack down to 212 attack EVs really doesn't change too much. And then of course Rough Skin is going to be really nice to get extra chip damage on the Absol, mainly the Scolipede. If it's Life Orb with Adamant Nature, he can 2 KO us pretty easily, but we are going to be able to wear him down with Rough Skin damage, 2 turns of Rough Skin damage, and then that's going to be 2 turns of Life Orb recoil as well. So it's already going to be losing about like 40-ish% of his health. At least that's the kind of idea behind this set as well. But along with this Cobalion and Mega Aerodactyl, that is our triple mon offensive core going into this game, because this can definitely weaken things early on for Cobalion or Aerodactyl to sweep late game, or this can also just sweep late game once Cobalion and Aerodactyl have weakened things accordingly. So I definitely think that either Garchomp, Cobalion, or Mega Arrow will be able to finish off this battle. And moving on down to the final member of the Durham Druddigons for this week, we have Julio the Jellicent. This, of course, is the main 150 billion% answer for Suicune in general, because this thing just should be able to 50 billion thousand percent shut it down, because we are running enough speed to outspeed a non-speed EV'd Krookodile, which he should just necessarily want to run max HP, close to max defense, maybe some special attack, maybe some special defense, but he really doesn't need the speed on Suicune. If he does bring a speedy Suicune, I really don't think it's going to be a Krookodile variant, which means it could be a little bit easier to deal with. But this also just really helps to have a good switch into Hitmontop. It also allows us to switch safely into Porygon 2 and a non-offensive freeze drive variant of Alolan Ninetales. Toxic is going to be really great to Toxic the Ninetales on a potential switch in. The Hitmontop, the Porygon 2, obviously, maybe even Latios, a Surf, is able to 2-KO Scolipede and Dugtrio. Actually, no, we OHKO Dugtrio. I meant Mega Absol. We can 2-KO Mega Absol and Scolipede. Speaking of Mega Absol, that's the only real reason why we have the Colbur Berry, because at close to max HP or even after Stealth Rocks, we can chew a knockoff, and then if Absol is in range, we can knock it out with the Surf, or Pursuit can activate our Colbur Berry on a switch out, and then that way we can save Jellicent to be brought back in, and then we can recover up to close to max HP, and then at that point knockoff is doing less damage, and by then we would have hopefully got off some damage on the Absol and put it in range of where we can knock it out. Or if he over predicts, he'll Pursuit, which we can easily take, and then potentially 2-KO with Surf. But yeah, that's kind of the general idea behind this Jellicent set, and I think that basically covers everything. I'm Not confident in this team matchup. Like I said, I honestly really feel that Kyle by far has the better team matchup. The only real things I can hope for is that our prep is good enough and that I'm able to outplay him and not allow too many things to get trapped and revenge killed by the Dugtrio, and not let Scolipede get out of hand. So yeah guys, let me know what you think about this matchup, what you think about the squad in the comment section below. Again, hopefully the actual battle will be going up in about an hour or two by the time that this goes up, and then we can be back on regular schedule next week. So yeah, that is going to be the video. Hopefully this was shorter than the original version, but anyways, I will see you guys all later or tomorrow, definitely with the battle. So later everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in a knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.